section?
Yeah, PGA section.
Oh, you're gonna have to move forward a little bit.
Like the PGA.
Yeah, just sit right there.
You know.
You think people will be able to hear us from that somewhere?
Professional golfers. Section stuff. Which we need to get in with them anyway, because they run all the PGA Junior League, and if we can get fellas all that.
And do all the
Yeah, I mean, they're
programs and
doing,
stuff?
like shirts and hats and
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
I know.
I was actually talking to Tony yesterday. I was like, because he had a box of where it all came from. It
Right.
comes from someplace in Michigan.
Is that gonna be going on all the time?
I'm gonna go real quick.
Alright, well, we're already live on Instagram. But
No, that's fine.
yeah.
Just, you guys can keep talking.
We'll go into,
You live?
we're live.
Just another order.
Is that a little pre-book, yeah?
No, ship date in like 10 days.
Probably one that you forgot about from a month ago. Oh, no. Are we good?
Yeah.
And record. Alright, so we are back, guys. This is another episode of the Birdie Bros podcast. As always, you're joined by co-host Zach Forgash along with Travis Teeple. And today we are joined by Michael Putnam. Michael, how are you?
Fantastic.
Good. So, we missed an episode last week just because, the world's a little bit crazy right now. But, yeah.
You mean your world's a little bit crazy right now?
Yeah, I haven't been here a ton, actually out here doing stuff and whatnot. But, yeah, so our last episode with John Ladenburg was fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people tuned into that. That was a cool thing for us. So, as things kind of stand now, directly after that was a public council meeting, and we're kind of just in limbo, right? We're just waiting to hear kind of what happens. May 7th is the big day, is that right?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, so that's cool. I've gotten some feedback from some people who kind of liked it, and I had a good time with it. I think it was fun. It didn't exactly go the direction I think we thought on paper, right? But, yeah, what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it'd be a little bit more combative, but I think John's a great guy. After getting to know him a little bit, actually played golf with him. I just don't agree with anything that he's doing as far as the project at Chambers Bay. So, but I think he's a good guy, and
Yeah, all right. And we'll leave that with to be continued. I think there's going to be a few more episodes that are going to follow along with all that, and so everyone can just stay updated on that. Yeah, so now we're just kind of moving forward with things. It's been a little while. I don't think we really talked much even, since like the Masters, right? That's when we did that episode. So there's a lot that's changed in the golf world since then.
yeah.
I want to get your take on that a little bit. What were you thinking on Sunday watching the Masters? Were you pretty pumped for that?
Oh, sick. I was actually in an Uber in Las Vegas. I bought a ticket to get down there early so I could go to one of the sports books and watch the last round of the Masters. But then when they moved the round up because of the rain, kind of threw that off, so I couldn't change my ticket. I was already leaving at 6 a.m. or something. Anyway, I was in an Uber for the last 3 holes of the Masters, watching it live on my phone.
Nice.
That Masters app is sick, huh?
The Masters app saved the day.
Yeah.
Because I would have been pissed if I'd have missed that. Anyway, it was pretty cool. Even when I was getting into my into the elevator after getting my bags in the airport, I had my Masters app going, and there was like 10 people in the elevator, all with their bags from getting off the plane. Probably 6 out of 10 had the app open watching the live Masters coverage, which was really cool because it was people from the golf world like me and people who were just fans like the other 4 guys in the elevator.
It felt different, right? It was a different vibe.
Oh man, I think the whole world was rooting for Tiger, obviously. It was just so cool to see him. I would say complete his comeback.
Yeah.
Well, did you ever think, with what's happened in the last decade or so, and take Chambers Bay, U.S. Open, you saw what happened. You played that golf course. When you saw that, did you ever think like this guy's gonna win a major again? I'll admit it. I said he'd never win again.
No,
Never.
and
I wanted him to not win. I just didn't think he would.
Yeah, I've seen how injuries not only hurt the body but hurt the mind, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Obviously he has status out there for life, so he can get through an injury with still getting tournaments to play in. But it hurts the mind more than it hurts the body. And once he got his body healed, you know, he still had a lot of work to do with his head. I mean, it took him 2 years to even start hitting a shot.
There was a while there he couldn't even chip. Remember that?
Oh, chip, drive the ball,
I mean,
bogey the first hole every round.
yeah.
I mean, because he couldn't
hit
hit a
fairway.
fairway off the first tee. I mean, there's a lot that happens when you're away from golf for, you know, say 3
And
years.
then you throw in on top of that all the drama,
Oh,
all the lady drama.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is the biggest feat is just overcoming the mind, the
Yeah.
head. I mean,
Have you ever played with them?
I've never played with them. I've played behind them and in front of them in tour events, but never played with them.
Yeah, we were talking to Troy about that exact thing actually on the podcast, and he said it's just crazy when he's either in front or behind you, just because like you
Yeah,
can
it's
see
the
the
worst.
galleries following that, so they're kind of in your way.
Yeah, well, the galleries don't care what's going on in your group. They're just trying to get the best seat for the next group behind you.
Yeah.
Is what usually happens. And then if you're behind them, you're hitting into, you know, greens behind them when people are just moving everywhere because they're trying to scramble up to the next tee, but they can't go anywhere. I mean, it's 20 deep usually, following Tiger, and 50 deep sometimes.
Right. And it's interesting for you, right? Because when you made your PGA Tour career, like your first couple years out there, that was like right in his heyday, right?
Oh, I got a good story for you. Yeah. So my first year on tour was 2000.
5.
No, 2000. Well, 2005 I played some tour events on sponsor exemptions. 2006 I played on the web.com. But 2007, my first year on the tour, was, I think Tiger won 10 times that year. But I had a buddy of mine who, his name's Jeff Overton, who played on the tour for a while.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, he made a bet with me at the beginning of the year because 2006 he was on tour and never beat Tiger in a single tournament. And he made a bet with me, 100 to 1 odds, that I couldn't beat Tiger in a single tournament I played with him. I was like, dude, I'm gonna beat Tiger once this year. Come on, you know. I mean, I'm gonna play 5 to 8 tournaments Tiger was playing.
Yeah.
I'll put $100 on that. So it was $100 for 10,000. You know, this guy made a bet with me. Tiger won. I played in 8 events Tiger played in, including 2 majors, and Tiger won 6 out of the 8 events and finished second in one of them and finished like 6th in the other.
Wow.
Never had a chance to beat the guy. Not even a chance. The closest I ever got was early in the year. Actually, it was at Torrey Pines. I was playing 2 groups behind Tiger. No, sorry, 2 groups in front of Tiger. And through like 12 holes, I looked at the leaderboard and I was 3 under. I think I was playing with Ryan Moore that day too. I was 3 under for my round and in like 10th place. And Tiger was in like 14th place through like 9 holes. So I was beating Tiger with like, you know, 6 holes for me to go, 9 for him to go. He ended up shooting like 5 or 6 under in the back 9 and winning that tournament.
Oh, dang.
And I think I shot 1 over coming in and finishing 12th.
And were you following his score, not just the leaderboard? You're
Hell
like,
yeah,
"Where's
dude!
Tiger?"
I was $100 to win 10,000 that week. I mean,
Jeez.
I know the tournament winnings were a lot more, but man,
Yeah.
taking 10,000 off a buddy would have been a lot, you know, a lot
That's
better.
You wouldn't have done that.
Heck yeah!
You would have taken the 10?
Well, I don't know. We were good friends, and he'd made $1 million a year before, so
Oh, there you go.
yeah, he could write that. check.
AP's beat him. Andrew.
Yeah, a few times I think. Or at least
You
once.
beat him in the U.S. Open here. Just because
Yeah, I did.
everybody beat him.
Well, that's the thing is like, you know, back in his heyday, no one beat him. That's why Phil has never been #1 in the world. It's just still crazy to
He was
think.
never #1, huh?
No, because he played in Tiger's era.
Yeah,
Phil's one.
David Duvall was #1. Vijay Singh was #1. They played in his era. I mean,
Yeah, but Phil
shoot,
was
Luke
like,
Donald was #1.
Luke Donald wasn't #1 during Tiger's time.
Yeah, well.
He wasn't?
Well, Luke Donald was #1 when Tiger was going through all his issues.
Oh.
Yeah, that was like 2010, 11-ish. Maybe.
Once Tiger went through his issues, there's been 12 guys that have been #1 in the world.
Yeah.
And Phil has just gotten older, but you know, he's won 50 times on tour and never been #1. It's kind of crazy.
So we know that you would collect $10,000 off a good friend.
100%. That's how good a friend he is.
Well, and $10,000 back then would have been, you know, a decent paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Like winning the Budweiser.
I've never won that tournament, yeah.
You have it, huh?
Second place last year to Andre.
This year you're going to do it?
If I'm so fortunate enough to play in
Hey,
it,
but your
do
team's won it.
my team has won it.
Yeah.
My team has
Well,
won
you're
it.
exempt. You have full status for the Bud.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to play. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. So what is going on with you, right? I mean, you're kind of looking to make another comeback. Game's feeling pretty good right now?
Yeah, game's feeling great. You know, injuries the last couple of years, kind of like Tiger Woods. I'm kind of like Tiger now.
Yeah, pretty close.
I don't have his mental issues though, hopefully, or his women issues. But yeah, so I feel 100% healthy. Felt that for about 6 to 7 months now.
Yeah.
So really just looking forward to getting back out playing a bunch of 4-round tournaments, and then, you know, gotta go to Q school again.
Where's your next stop?
I'm leaving Saturday to go try to Monday for the Byron Nelson. So I'm gonna go do some PGA Tour Mondays, try to make a little bit of money. If not,
What about Colonial?
you can't Monday for Colonial.
But
It's
yeah.
invitational. So, yeah, do some tour Mondays, do some web.com stuff, and then hopefully just get ready for Q school and get back out there.
Yeah.
Maybe do a PGA Tour Canada stop here in Vancouver, just because it's close.
Oh, Mackenzie Tour.
There you go.
Mackenzie
That's
Tour,
cool, yeah. So for you, like, you know, you've been on tour a few times, so you know what it's like. Is it a certain shot you hit? Is it a certain number that you post in practice rounds? How do you know that your game's where it needs to be to get back out there?
Yeah, I mean it's more than just, it's the consistency in rounds, really. You know, obviously there's a lot of good golfers all over the world, but you know, if I can shoot 65 one day, the next day go out, shoot 65, you know, maybe shoot, you know, even if I'm just playing at home with the guys,
Yeah.
I know I'm ready when I post 4 or 5 good numbers in a row. You know, anyone can post a 65. Well, not anyone, but
Right.
professional golfers can post 65s, you know,
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
But I know I'm ready when I can do it consistently, and that's what you got to do to be ready to play Mondays too, because that's just a 1-rounder. But if you're posting 65 4 out of 5 days, you know you can go to a Monday and just play normal and have a 80% chance of shooting 65, which is what you need to get through those. So I've been doing that now for a couple weeks, which has been good. Played in just some little pro-ams here and there, and shot some good numbers. And so
How was Vegas?
Vegas was great. Yeah,
Played Shadow.
played a Nike Pro-Am in Vegas. Played Shadow Creek. Obviously that's where the Tiger Phil match was.
Yeah.
Shot 68 there, not bad.
Yeah, that's
And then I played Southern Highlands, which used to host the PGA Tour event, and was one of my favorite courses in Vegas.
Well, you used to live there, right?
And I used to live there, which I had my worst round of this little Pro-Am there. Yeah. And then I played Cascada, which I'd never been to, but an awesome golf course, kind of just on the way out of Vegas in Boulder City.
How does that compare to Shadow?
Cascada's built up on a hill, Shadow's built down into the ground, but both just in immaculate condition with water features and falls and trees that you would never see in Vegas. I mean, it's like being in a paradise in the middle of the desert. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You win any money down there in the blackjack table?
I had a slot machine that was hot. Yeah,
Oh,
I hit a
slots,
bonus on a
huh?
slot. Yeah, I never played slots, but thanks to my buddy Derek Barron, got me to play this Buffalo slot machine, and hit a little jackpot of $2,400 on a $2 roll.
Ooh.
So for the week, I actually ended up. I think
So slots might be your new game?
no, I haven't. That was the first time I've ever done.
$2 roll to make $2,400. Does it always make you wonder, like, if you would have just max bet, what you would have got?
That was max bet.
Oh, really?
It was a penny slot.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. I wasn't going in no high roller slot room.
Yeah, so playing in some Pro-Am stuff, you've kind of stayed home a lot though, right? Like,
Yeah.
Andres is in the field today for the web.com Monday qualifier. He's been out there almost every week, it seems like.
Yeah.
Why have you decided to kind of hang out here, pick and choose your dates, opposed to doing that and just grinding every single week out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple reasons. One, coming off the winter, I felt like I was 100% healthy, like maybe November, September, November, or September, October last year. But this winter I didn't do much practicing, knowing I didn't have status, and even though I was healthy, I felt like I needed to get reps under my belt. You can be healthy, then you need reps.
Yeah.
I mean, so beginning of the year I didn't feel like my game was ready, like you said. How can I tell when I'm ready? Well, I wasn't shooting many good numbers, even at home. So there's no point in me trying to go Monday, really.
Right. It's not cheap, right?
No, it's $2,000 a week. I mean, it's like $2,000 a week. You're flying out, paying $400 to try to qualify, 3 nights hotel, rental car.
And you don't win any money for winning a Monday qualifier.
No, zero. Yeah, you're just paying up. You don't even get a free practice round. You got to pay for a practice.
Really?
Round. Yeah.
Wow.
Then you got to buy a yardage book, and some people play caddies. I end up just carrying my own bag.
Right, usually, yeah.
So I took it easy, and also the tours were, like the web was in the Bahamas and on the East Coast, and the PGA Tour I tried to few of the West Coast events. But other than that, we've hit a little part of the season where There's a lot of invitationals and majors with Masters and, Hilton Head, you can't Monday. So come, obviously starting May, I'm going to start getting out there more, spending that $2,000 a week to try to get some status.
Right.
How's the wrist been feeling?
It's been feeling good. Yeah, I haven't even felt it. So I haven't felt it since, I'd say, September last
Do
year.
they even know what it was?
Yeah, I mean, I had a torn tendon, ligament or tendon on my pinky of my left hand, in the wrist, pinky side in the wrist. It was the same injury that actually Brooks Koepka had.
Oh, really?
When he missed about 6 months last year, or two. When he missed the Masters last year.
Yeah.
Before he went and won the U.S. Open.
I was gonna say you're gonna win 2 majors this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So it's a pretty common golf injury. It's also called, it's I think it's a TFC ban is what they call it. Just from repetitive movement and hitting balls into the ground.
Off mats and stuff too, probably.
Yeah, mats don't help. Mats don't help. PGA Tour firmness of the fairways don't help.
Yeah.
The firmness of the range doesn't help.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So speaking of Brooks Koepka, I noticed last week, which was a Zurich Classic, it's a doubles event.
Yep.
He's playing with his brother. His brother doesn't have status on the PGA Tour. Explain to me why you couldn't play in that event with Andrew.
yeah, I mean that tour has I think 8 sponsor exemptions it can give out to players that want to take people that aren't exempt on the PGA Tour. So Andrew had requested a sponsor exemption for me to play with him, but he was he's 55th in the world or so.
Yeah.
There ended up just being
What a scrub.
Yeah, there ended up being 7 guys in front of him that requested to play with their buddies. Brooks Koepka playing with his brother. Some European Tour players who are high in the world rankings played with some other European Tour friends. So, other good players,
Yeah.
but didn't have tour
Davis
status.
Love had his son.
So they had to give sponsor exemptions to those guys. And then we ended up losing out on the last exemption they told us to Davis Love and his son Drew. So,
And when did you find out about that? Was it like the week?
They made the decision just the week before the tournament.
Really?
Yeah,
That would've been cool.
They strung us along a
That
little
would be
bit.
really cool.
You never got to play together, right?
No, we haven't. And we tried one other time when I was coming off the Web.com tour, and I was number 1 in, on the Web Money list. And Andrew had actually already won an event on the PGA Tour, on the Web.com
Yeah.
tour, and we tried to play that year as well, and they told us no.
It would have been great because they cannot figure out which brother is which still, and now they confuse him for you, and yet vice versa. So it would have been
I know.
great to see them
It
try
would've
and
been a
figure
media
out
mess
who is who.
up. Straight media mess up. Yeah, apparently I was playing pretty well.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
I saw that. Well, speaking of Andrew, what's it like for you seeing little brother out here winning and one of the best players in the world? I mean, that's got to be a trip, huh?
Yeah, it's cool. He's proven to become one of the best players in the world, and I'd like to say I had a little hand in that, but heck, I don't know. He's done a lot on his own, and he's done it well. He's got a good drive to be the best he can be. Good work ethic, and it definitely paid off last summer. He hit a hot streak at the right time
Yeah.
while having tour status and played 9 months of just really, really, really good golf. So he's had a little pause in that the last few weeks from his golf game, but he's had a lot going on at home.
The newborn.
Newborn baby and adjusting to life with 3 people now.
Yeah. And you know what that's like, right? I mean, you had kids while in the midst of your career.
Yeah. It's an adjustment, but he played so much and played so well that a pause isn't a bad thing. He can kind of refocus and regroup. I know he's taking the next couple weeks off, but that's gonna be good for him, and he's gonna regroup, and then I'm sure he'll have a great summer.
Yeah.
Is it motivating for you though to see that? To be like, all right, now there's something to kind of shoot for. I mean, you're happy for him. I need your brother at the end of the day, but I know you're competitive. It makes you want to.
Oh yeah, no, it's probably what's keeping me playing golf, honestly.
Is it really? Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't know anyone out there and I wasn't friends with
Sure.
any, I see a lot of other friends of mine winning out there and playing well, and that's what's motivating me, because I know I've beaten them in the past and probably could beat them right now. I just not playing the same.
Well, and he
tournaments.
probably has some pretty cool stories when you guys sit down at a dinner table now, huh? And
Yeah, I mean, he was involved in a lot of really cool shots last year.
the DJ final group.
Yeah, the DJ final group at the St. Jude, and holding out.
I'm
the
so
last shot
mad
of
he
the
didn't
tournament.
win that tournament. But anyways.
Yeah, and also my cousin Greg has a lot of good stories when we sit down as a family
yeah.
too. With Finau, even last week,
At the
playing
Masters,
at the Masters
yeah.
in the final group of Tiger.
I saw he did an interview, I think with Todd Mills actually, a whole write up on that, and explaining what that was like.
Yeah, I mean Greg was he was home this week, so I got to see him. He he was the fourth person to shake Tiger's hand after winning the Masters, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. I always pay attention to see how Tiger reacts to like maybe people he doesn't know, like as far as shaking their hands, you know.
Yeah.
And it was cool. That was
I thought his reaction was totally different than previous wins.
Oh yeah, he didn't really even get it. If he would have made the par putt, I think he would have went crazy. But the fact that he missed it and then had to tap it in.
He just seemed so humble to me too. I don't know. I mean,
I hated how he played 18, but that doesn't really matter.
is that like a shank that he hit?
I don't know what he did.
That was weird.
He just flopped something up in the wind. That was weird.
He said he wasn't even trying to miss over there, but whatever. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, what else is what's going on, Travis? What's going on in your life over here at Play Clean?
Man, President's Cup towels. Those are out the door. It looked like those were a good hit down to Zurich. Yeah, just getting towels out the door.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, we are doing towels. Play Clean's doing towels for the President's Cup. If you were watching Golf Channel yesterday morning, you might have seen a little Instagram clip that they posted that Ernie Els and Trevor Immelman were holding up towels. So if you see a President's Cup towel with their new logo and scatter print, those are our towels. So that's been a pretty fun thing for us to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of cool things that we're kind of in the works on. Is that right?
Yep. I mean, to me, it just kind of feels like par for the course. It seems like each year it just gets better and better. But yeah, I'm excited, and just really cool stuff going on. So
yeah, it's a good time to be around here. You know, we had a pretty long, terrible winter, and I feel like we've kind of come out of that slump. It's sunny out now. The weather's getting better. People are kind of into the swing of things, and like it really feels like golf season, right? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the forecast today. I'm going out to play Chambers, and I looked at the forecast for the next 14 days, and I don't see a drop of rain, and
That's
highs
great.
in the mid to upper 60s and even low 70s some days.
Can't beat that.
Gosh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
golf
can't beat
weather.
that. Which means you don't have an excuse to not play with me when I invite you every day.
Exactly. Well, other than that the tee sheet's full, it's going to take 3 hours to play 9 holes.
Yeah, that's true. Today should be interesting.
What's going on with you? What's your handicap like these days? How are you playing? You've been playing a lot lately.
I play a lot. This is probably the best my game has ever been. I'm playing to about a 1 at the moment, but when I get in a tournament, I just don't. I played a tournament last Thursday at Gold Mountain Pro-Am, and it's just different, man. I don't have experience, and I underestimate tournament nerves.
Oh yeah.
And it just kind of gets me. I'm trying to get a little bit more comfortable with that. I missed 9 putts from 4 to 6 feet, and you probably can't do that if you want to shoot. I mean, I hit the ball fine. I should have shot even.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek Berg shot 63 on that golf course. It was definitely out there.
I want to know for the listeners out there, one, if they've ever had tournament nerves. I mean, and I'm talking like even in scrambles, where you're the 4th guy to hit a putt on the green and you got 10 feet to putt, what that feels like for you. And 2, how that equates to your golf game. Some people clutch up, some people don't.
Yeah.
Well, you can learn to clutch up too. If you don't clutch up the first time you have that putt where you're feeling those nerves, doesn't mean you're not going to ever clutch up and make that putt.
What makes me wonder, because there's different levels of it. I know that I'm just playing in the Puget Sound Amateur, and I get really nervous on the first tee where I actually get. It's almost like paralysis. Like I can't get my body to move, and I just go through the motions. And now my goal becomes just don't miss the golf ball. And I get that when I play.
What do you think Tiger was feeling when he bogeyed like 12 first holes in a row?
Yeah, and
Same feeling.
that's what I'm getting at. Is like at that level, I feel insane nerves. What's it like playing U.S. Open at Chambers Bay? First shot, you're the opening tee shot. Your family and everyone you've ever even known is standing right there.
Yeah, I puckered up and hit a snap hook left too.
So at every level, there's still nerves, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, even for me, when I get into some, scrambles or pro-ams where I'm supposed to make a putt for the team, when I was in Vegas, I had a bunch of 10-footers that I was supposed to make because everyone else missed theirs. I mean, I even still feel it on that little stuff.
how'd you guys do out there?
Our team finished 4th, so we did all right. We got beat by like 12 shots, though, so we didn't have a chance.
Who was on the winning team? Anybody?
I can't remember.
No.
Didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's nerves at every level, and that's why pro golf is so hard, and hard to jump to number one, going straight from high school to college to the PGA Tour, because there's nerves at every level. No matter if you're playing for, Puget Sound Amateur, playing for a trophy out there, or you're playing for the U.S. Open. There's just nerves at every
So
level.
when those nerves come on, is there anything that you start thinking about?
Yeah, what tour players are the best at is when they feel nervous, they know what typically happens to their body, Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, when I feel nervous, I typically lean on my left side, like if I'm gonna miss hit the shot when I'm nervous, I'm gonna lean on my left side, not make a full turn, and kind of just smother the ball. Now that smother could mean like kind of a low left shot, straight low left in the left rough, or it could mean, smothering the ball and hitting it off the heel of the club and hitting this, kind of fat slice to the right.
Yeah.
But because I know that, I know how to combat that too. And so if I'm feeling those nerves, I know, hey, most likely I'm gonna be leaning on my left side, so let's make sure I get my weight centered. Let's make sure I make a full turn. And then if I do that, even if I'm nervous, I can hit a good golf shot. So pro golfers, and I hope most pro golfers, but at least myself, I know when I get in those situations and I have those feelings, how to fix it before I even hit the shot.
Yeah.
Right. Well, do you think about it ahead of time? Like the night before, you're like, I know I'm gonna be nervous on the first tee. How are we gonna get through that? Do you?
I'm obsessed about first tee shots before
Yeah.
on my tour career, especially ones that have out of bounds or you have to hit a really good shot. And I would replay that shot in my mind or on the range before, hit that exact tee shot. Visualizing what needs to happen. But it's still different when you get on the first tee and your name's called and you got to put the peg in the ground.
Sure.
But that's what separates good golfers from not as good golfers is they know how to deal with it.
Now, are there things that you know of that people take for that? Beta blockers, performance enhancing things?
Yeah, I mean those are all illegal, but you can take them.
Okay, but is that are there rumblings about that? Like, is there or is it more of like a mental thing that guys?
Yeah, don't you
just
see
work on?
Tiger was chewing CDC gum or whatever and Phil?
Old gum, and he also took a pill. There's a video of him taking a pill too, on the last day at Augusta too.
Yeah,
which could have been a multivitamin. I'm not putting that out there.
There's some approved, stuff out there, and then there's stuff that's not approved. And
yeah,
beta blockers, you can't take those on tour.
You really? Even if they prescribed you?
No, they're tested for them.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff you can't do, so guys don't do that.
So don't find shortcuts, huh?
No.
Just accept the process.
No, accept that you're nervous and figure out what your tendency is when you are nervous and fix it.
I think it's good to have feelings though. That's better than feeling nothing, right? Like I think there's a fine line.
I feel like Dustin Johnson feels nothing.
Yeah.
That guy walks in a cloud.
Yeah, but it's funny you mention that, right? And I think that's what separates him. And I think to a degree, Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, has something in him like that too, where he doesn't get too high or too low. He just kind of stays very, very level with things.
Yeah, but that's just your outside appearance. I literally think Dustin Johnson feels nothing inside.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone can? Tiger looked pretty calm on the outside at the Masters.
Yeah.
He looked the most focused he's ever looked. He admitted though he was having all the feelings inside.
Yeah.
So it's how you deal with those inside feelings, because those are the feelings that come out in your swing and stuff. Anyone can control the reactions. It's hard to do, but you can control your reaction to shots or situations or whatever you're doing. But the feelings inside is what you want to master.
Yeah.
And I mean, even for you playing in Gold Mountain Pro-Am, the feeling you had on the first tee, you have to know what that feeling produces. So what shot did you hit, or how did you react, or when you're putting, did you push the putt? Did you speed your stroke up? Did you slow it down? What is your tendency when you're feeling that? And then recognizing that tendency, and then recognizing that feeling, and then making the change before you even hit that shot. And that's how you become a better golfer.
Yeah.
For everybody.
And it comes with experience too, right?
Yeah, but the quicker you can recognize that, the quicker you can get through that process in your head, the faster you'll become a better player under pressure.
Right. Yeah, but I also think like with Dustin, like I don't think he gets very excited. Like when he lost the U.S. Open here and he 3-putted, and I know it probably killed him deep down inside, but he didn't show any emotion.
It didn't kill. That's my point.
It didn't
kill him
that
deep
bothers
down.
me.
He's got no feeling.
That's why I don't like him, and what I don't respect about it is like he doesn't care, and I'm like I would rather be too nervous than not be nervous at all. Like don't you want feelings in life? Don't you want to be exhilarated?
You remember when Brandt Snedeker lost the Masters?
Yep.
7 or 8 years ago, and he was just crying, couldn't stop crying in his interview.
I like that.
You like that, but he's not the #1 player in the world, nor has he ever been.
Yeah, but he cared.
Dustin
like,
Johnson
something to him.
doesn't give
That's important to millennials.
No, I don't know. I think it's just a difference of opinion. And sure, Dustin has a great life. He goes home to Paulina, who's very overrated. But either way, like the guy has a great life, and maybe there's nothing that's out there that really gets him excited anymore. When he thinks about like picking out a schedule for the year, and he's like, I don't know, do I want to play that? Like, where's that at? Like, I don't know. Like, it just doesn't get him up anymore. And like, I think you want that in life. You want that exhilaration. Like, what else are you living for if you're not going to get excited about things? But he might just have a different way of showing it.
I don't know. I think he gets excited when he makes $1 million and throws a party that costs $500,000.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Good
then
on
he's
you,
pretty
DJ.
excited at that party. I
Yeah.
mean,
Have you ever got the invite? Have you been to any of those parties?
I've heard about him. I don't live in Jupiter or wherever he lives, but I have friends that have been to those parties and talk about him.
And they have fun.
He collects all cell phones and all photography equipment
Does
at
he?
the front door.
I hear a lot of celebs do that.
So, just use your imagination. Why would they do that?
Yeah, tour life can be a little crazy, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of young kids making lots of money, so
Yeah.
what are they gonna do with it?
Yeah. And speaking of that, I mean, Tiger probably had a huge influence on that, but there's a lot of money in golf, huh? If you could start all over and do it again, I mean, you were a basketball player, there were plenty of other things, you have a business degree from Pepperdine, right?
Yeah.
Would you do this all over again if you had the chance?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But people say there is a lot of money. There is a lot of money in golf, but golfers always.
But it's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed. You got to work for it. You got to work for it year after year. You don't get 3-year contracts. You don't get 4-year contracts. You don't get signing bonuses up front. So there's a lot that golfers are jealous of the other sports, and also, the PGA Tour does a great job and gives $150 million a year to charity.
That's awesome.
But a lot of golfers that are playing for that money wish,
They could have a little bit.
they could have a little bit more of that money.
Yeah, because you don't really collect what you think, right? When I look at the end of the tournament, a guy wins $600,000 or something. How much of that does he actually get? He pays his caddy, his sponsors, his travel, whatever taxes. How much of that 4th place finish does he actually keep?
I mean, it's like any other business. He's a highest tax bracket, so he's 38.6% to the government, and then
So he's getting half if he's lucky.
yeah, you get about half.
Yeah.
About 50%, because once you pay your caddy 8 to 10%,
Yeah.
that's 48%. Then you pay state taxes, which is another 6%, depending on where you're at. Or,
Yeah.
yeah, you get about half.
Yeah.
You know,
it's still pretty good.
it costs $3,000 to $6,000 a week to travel on tour.
Yeah.
So then you can take that out every week.
But it's not as glamorous as maybe some people might think. You flip on the Golf Channel, you see a guy on TV grinding and does well. But
Well, I will say the PGA Tour is pretty glamorous, but
the web's a little bit.
any other tour that you're playing to try to get there sucks.
Yeah.
Just sucks. You finished 24th in the web event this week. You made $4,500. You spent $3,000 of that before you even get there.
So you broke even if you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah, but that makes it even sweeter when you see like those cool Corey Connors stories where he Monday qualifies and gets into the event and then ends up winning.
Of course, yeah.
I mean,
So people love that.
Yeah, and there isn't another sport that I think can really recreate that.
No, you can't
atmosphere.
just Monday qualify to play in the NBA.
No.
You can't
Yeah.
just try out on Monday to try to play in the playoff game on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gives the everyman Joe a chance.
Right. Travis, what were you gonna say?
I think we should circle back, start talking Chambers Bay. I want to talk about
That place.
the deception maybe that might be getting put out there as far as like the villas, the golf villas, how things are subsidized with the sewer being there. We'll start addressing that. So these golf villas, can you kind of talk about that, like how that works into the equation of the golf course being a success, right? And then maybe shed some light on how Chambers Bay is getting subsidized and all that.
Jeez, hard question here. I mean, this is
a hot topic.
This is just from what my understanding is.
Give the PC answer.
No, from my understanding is that the county put out a request for proposal for hotels on a 12-acre piece of land that they have called the ground lease,
Yeah.
for the developers. Well, they accepted the Putnam development proposal.
Yeah.
And for the last 2.5 years, they've been negotiating the terms of that proposal. Part of that proposal is that that they're going to stay within the 12 acres that they've already designated for the project,
Mm-hmm.
which they do. They're not affecting, any of the park down below, any of the golf course, other than the 9th tee box, which they're going to push 30 feet into the hill
That's probably going to be better.
and make it a better shot.
Make it a better shot.
And this you know, issue about the villas and hotel. I mean, people that are staying there for hotel purposes are, you know, staying there on parkland.
Yeah.
The villas, the county has already, approved, a year ago with the ground lease, and the developers.
Which I think is a big thing, because one of the things that Ladenburg had mentioned to us is that when you guys originally proposed, when the Putnam Absher, proposal was proposed, that where it's at today has nothing to do with the original proposal. So what needs to be clarified is that it was actually voted on.
Yeah, a year ago.
A year ago.
The ground lease was voted on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is something that's been confirmed by the county council, correct?
Correct.
And so there hasn't been any kind of like smoke and mirrors going on, or.
No, what happened is the developers have worked with the Pierce County Executive, which is the head of the Pierce County Council in Pierce County, on the terms of the agreement, and they worked for the last 2.5 years on that. Whether the council members were informed every step of the way or not, I have no clue. But their head of their board has been working hand in hand with developing this ground lease agreement, and have come to an agreement, and now it's creating a little bit of a stir with a couple of council members who don't agree with certain things on the agreement. But I mean, I think it's gonna be great for the city, it's gonna be great for the county, it's gonna be great for Chambers Bay. Get a hotel, a resort in there.
Yeah.
The villas are gonna be great for the 70 or so people that want to live with a great view at a park, where they can get out and walk every day and enjoy the views in the park and the golf course. It's going to bring a ton of value to the public. The public's going to have access to a world-class restaurant, to a world-class spa, to an awesome bar, dining area that overlooks all of Puget Sound and the mountains and the golf course. The public's also it's also gonna bring a lot more taxpayer money to the region. It's also gonna increase rounds at Chambers Bay, which is gonna directly increase revenue for the city and for the county taxpayers. I mean, I think they said if the hotel was occupied 80% of the year and only 16 golfers, four foursomes a day came added to the golf course to the play at Chambers Bay, it would add between $250,000 and $500,000 in revenue without adding a single expense to the golf course, which would also help taxpayers, not subsidize the place.
Sure.
And I just think overall you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting a world-class project with a world-class golf course, and now you gotta have a clubhouse. Golfers don't have to change in the parking lot. They're gonna get showers to shower in.
Wedding venues.
That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, golfers. Think about this. Golfers come to Chambers Bay right now, and I was there last week for lunch.
Yeah.
I saw a lady with her trunk open, pulling stuff out of her suitcase, trying to change clothes in the parking lot.
Yeah, they ask you all the time, like, you guys have showers and stuff, just real quick, and then I'm like, no, this guy's got to go catch a plane. Like, he's got a business meeting.
And so not only does that the resort provide that for the golfing guests, but it provides it for the public that are using the facilities. It's like people having to. It's crazy. They're paying $300 to play Chambers Bay, and they're changing their shoes in the parking lot, and some guys are pulling off their shirts that they flew in to put on collared shirts to go play golf in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
In a pro shop that's tiny.
In a pro shop that's a temporary building that can't has no bathrooms other than the one shared with the restaurant. So it's going to be good for everyone all around. For the county too, they're getting a better facilities
Right.
from the project.
So you were talking a little bit before we got started about the little stone wall that they're doing right now with the 14 amendments or something like that.
Yeah, there's 14 amendments that the council has asked to review that I guess either pass today or get recommended to move on. So we'll see how that goes. They're trying to, they're delaying the project even more than the 3.5 years that it's taken to negotiate this project, which, another 6 months is another 6 months.
Right.
Just another 6 months of not having a hotel, spa, resort, workout facility.
Tax dollars coming in.
So, I mean, it is what it is. They're just going through the process, and hopefully, some of those amendments are going to be adopted, which are great. Council members looking out for certain pieces of the project I think are weak, which is, help develop a stronger project.
Yeah.
that the developers didn't see off the bat because they're inside the project so much. And so I know some of them that the developers are agreeing to and are happy that they recommended, certain parking issues and certain, ways the trail is going to work, and then just, certain issues that are going to benefit the public when there's big events. And then there's other issues that are being brought up that are just non-starters that I've heard.
I think the way it's all laid out looks spectacular with it being built below the hill, so when you come driving in you can see the whole view, and I mean, you can't get a better view, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason their project was selected, because the other hotel developer wanted to build a 5-story building on top of the hill.
Yeah.
That's just a direct blockage of everyone's view, and
right.
I mean,
and everybody that I've caddied for, in the last month or so, I've talked to them. There's stakes that are up there on 9, so you can kind of see it. I've explained it to people. I'm curious. I want to get people's opinion. I just caddied for Matt Allen and Josh Lesnick, who's the president of all of Kemper, and I wanted to get their take on it too and kind of see where everybody stands. And it's almost overwhelmingly positive as far as everyone's like, "Well, I like this golf shot." Then I explained some things to them, and everyone, the group yesterday that I had, they were great. They'd never played here before. They live in Arizona. And they just loved it. They played Pebble. They were just raving about how great of a golf course it is. And I was like, well, what if we had a hotel? And he was like, that's it. That's what you guys are missing. He's like, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, why don't you guys have that? And I'm like, well, just wait. And that's the one thing that's beautiful. And to quote Ladenburg, this is a national treasure. And it is. And
Such a Johnny Miller.
Yeah, and it deserves, I think, world-class amenities. And yeah, I don't know. That's where I stand with it. But
yeah, I mean, golfers having 3 showers and a locker room to change in.
Yeah.
And, some shoe shining area and some approach.
It seems appropriate for a U.S. Open venue.
Yeah, just not even just a U.S. Open venue, just appropriate for a world-class facility.
Right. And a U.S. Open venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting time, right? And you're like wrapped up in the middle of it, so it's kind of, it's almost coming to the end finally. It's been a really, really long road, and I'm sure it's going to feel great if everything goes as planned, and, it'll be fun to kind of go from there with it. But, Michael's got to get out of here soon. He's got to go tee time to play at Chambers Bay. Is there any closing thoughts or anything you have, Travis?
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, this is fun. It's kind of like short and sweet, and this is good to get one out here. So,
thanks, guys.
Yeah. So until next time, everybody. Make sure this is always presented to you as always by PlayClean. Go to playclean.com for the highest quality, fully customizable golf towels. We will be back either later this week or early next week with another episode. So until next time, fairways and birdies.